All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody's had a great night. Tonight, I'm going to be checking out the new baby audio plugin, IHNY-2. It's a parallel compressor. It's actually an update. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. They seem like a really innovative company and making lots of kind of cool and useful plugins. And I'm all about cool and useful plugins. That's kind of my favorite thing. That's kind of what this stream is for me to find cool and useful plugins that enhance workflow. So the whole point of the stream is, the reason I'm doing this, I haven't tried this plugin out at all yet. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know what it does. Well, I mean, I understand that it's a parallel compressor, so I understand what it does, but I haven't tried it out. I haven't heard it yet. And the whole point of the stream is for me to go through this in real time and figure out the plugin and give my honest thoughts and feedback about how it sounds and how it feels to use and where I would use it, if I would use it, what I like, what I don't like, that kind of stuff. It's kind of just a real-time discovery process, which is kind of fun for me. I'm constantly checking out new software, new plugins. I'm a workflow nerd. I really appreciate things that make working quick and easy and fun. I work totally digitally, and I like being on the edge of that domain. I want to be at the cutting edge of what the digital domain can do, so I'm kind of always looking for things like that. And from what I can tell from this company, kind of seems like it's going to be that way. This is actually an update to parallel compressor plugin I love New York, IHNY-2. Parallel compression, of course, being kind of called New York compression because that's where the technique was developed. So lots of people, when they talk about parallel compression, they also use the term New York style compression. If you don't know what parallel compression is, it's blending a dry signal in with a compressed signal so that you have control of the wet and the dry. So you have your dry source and you have your compressed source and you're blending them together to taste. Plugins like this are great because they take all the routing out of it for you, which is really handy because setting up parallel compression can be a bit of a routing thing. Pretty easy to do these days, but plugins that take care of it for you right off the bat are awesome. I love them. So yeah, parallel compressor plugin. Let's see what we got here. Let's start working through the checklist. What's the GUI like? What's the graphical user interface look like? When we pull this thing up, does it look inspiring to work with? Pretty basic interface at the moment. Pretty great. Not the most exciting looking interface, but we'll see what happens. It's resizable. That I love. I'm a laptop user. Screen real estate's important. Being able to resize a plugin is great and pretty much something all plugins should do at this point. So we got a bypass here. Name parallel compressor. We got some oversampling, some solo. So I'm guessing maybe we can solo the parallel or the compressed part. I'm not exactly sure. Some presets, load a preset, save a preset. Kind of feels like those should be the opposite arrows to me. Saving kind of feels like it should be going down. Anyways, tooltips. Yeah, we'll turn those on. We want to know what things do. Save as defaults and a reset to the plugin. Okay, got some sort of XY graph here. Dry, wet, minimum, maximum. Some auto gain. Increases or decreases the automatic makeup gain. Tweak, open or close the tweak panel. Oh, okay, so we got a tweak panel. This looks like it's just a bunch of sidechain filters. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so we got attack and release. We've got ratio. We've got punch. Punch emphasizes the attack of the transients on percussive material. Great. We got harmonics. Cool. Shape. Emphasizes high and low frequencies. So this is a sidechain. Tilt, another sidechain. And cutoff. So 3 sidechain options. Harmonics, punch, ratio, and attack. Okay, so that's pretty cool. A lot more than what I thought it was. Non-opening. Thank God for the tooltips, because we would have just been guessing. I wonder without the tooltips, does it give us any information? Oh yeah, attack release. Okay, so it does tell us. Well, we'll just start with it here and then we'll go into the tweak panel. I use parallel compression all over a mix. I use it on the mix bus, I use it on drums, I use it on bass. It is something that I do lean on heavily in my process, so whenever a tool like this comes out, I'm pretty pumped about it. I think parallel compression is a really interesting tool in the toolbox, and any way that you can get that set up and going faster in a mix is is great. I love Waves, Shep's parallel particles. I think that's great. I use FabFilter a lot for parallel compression. I use Studio Rack from Waves as well a lot. That's another tool that I use for quick parallel compression. Because yeah, I find setting up parallel compression as more of like a true parallel where you've got on two faders, you got your compressed and your uncompressed signal, and you're able to balance them. I like that a little bit better than a mix knob. I don't know why, but mix knobs don't seem to do the same thing for me as having it on two faders. So let's see what this thing does. So I've got this thing on the drum bus right now. So the GUI gets a little bit more interesting. Oh, we just lost our drums. I'm guessing the bypass, or I'm guessing the plugin, since we're on a demo mode, has a time dropout in use. So that's kind of disappointing. It's nice to be able to try plugins out without having to do that. Just give me a week. Give me a couple of days, really. I'd rather have 1 or 2 days or 48 hours to be able to try the plugin with its full functionality rather than having dropouts. So this is just loaded up flat. I haven't done anything yet. I like this. It's just simple. Amount, wet, dry. Okay, that's pretty cool. I love plugins like this that are really simplified and take something that's actually quite complex and make it really simple. It's too bad about this dropout though. That sucks. Baby Audio, if you ever see this video, please give me a full functioning demo. So that's 100%. Or maxed out bypass. So the auto gain's pretty great. I love auto gain. I think that should be on every plugin. And we have some oversampling options here, which is awesome. 1 times we're running zero latency, so that's great. 2 times we're running 4 samples, so that's nothing. And 4 times oversampling, there's only 6 samples, so this is something you could use in production in real time, no problem. So oversampling, of course, is there for us to combat the frequency spectrum in the digital domain. If anybody knows about Nyquist theory, I think this session ran at 48 kilohertz. So the highest sample rate in this session can be 24 kilohertz. Oversampling allows us to go beyond the frequency spectrum. So instead of 2 times it, we go from 48 kilohertz, we go up to 96 kilohertz. So the frequency spectrum is bigger in the plugin, and the reason for that is it allows for, this is like super nerdy stuff, maybe I shouldn't go into this, but it combats aliasing and distortion and artifacts that are kind of pushed back into the signal. So especially something with parallel compression where you're going to get pretty aggressive and you can end up with some distortion, and it's nice to be able to have that. So we can hear the oversampling a little bit. We'll go from 1 times to 4 times. It's a pretty subtle thing. If you're listening on a phone or if you're listening on laptop speakers, it's going to be kind of hard to hear, but we go to 4. Bottom gets a little bit better, the bottom end gets a little bit better, the top end gets a little bit better, and it feels like there's just more depth to the image. So it sounds great. It sounds great at 1, but so I don't know what solo is doing for us. Where's our tooltips? It just says solo on. Oh, and it locks it for some reason. Not sure I understand the solo function. We might have to find a manual. So real quick thoughts are this thing sounds great, and it sounds really modern and punchy, which is great. We'll go under the hood here a little bit and see if we can. how aggressive we can get. So we can go from 20-1 to 2-1. So you could go from something really aggressive, straight up limiting essentially, to something a little bit more mild. Attack time goes from 1 millisecond all the way up to 150. So pretty broad. Release 5 milliseconds to 1,000. So you can do a lot with this thing. So punch is going to allow some more of that initial transient through. So attack and release, we can get really aggressive. Punch, gonna add some of that transient back in, even if we're super quick. Harmonics, that's pretty great, gives us a little bit of grit. So you can get pretty creative with it. Shape. So this is doing some side chaining into the compressor. Tilt, also doing some side chaining, tilting the spectrum either up or down. And high pass and low pass filters. So we can filter out the low end into the compressor so we can maintain our low end. We can filter out some of the top end. So definitely really quick and intuitive to use. A couple of things I'm noticing that I'm missing. I mean, there's a reset, which is great. The reset's awesome, but I would love to see an undo, and I would love to see some AB, so I can set something up and quickly AB it. So I don't have either of those options here, which is too bad. And I would also really like to see, it's great that I got auto gain and output, but I would love some meters just to be able to see what this thing's doing. Because the auto gain, I mean, it's great, but it isn't perfect. So definitely sounds super like modern sounding as far as the compressor goes. Like as far as the sound of the compressor, to me it sounds pretty modern, pretty current. Doesn't sound like some sort of vintage opto compressor or very mute compressor, or doesn't even really sound like 1176. I mean, maybe kinda, but gets pretty spitty, I guess, but it's still kind of just got this digital feel to it, which is cool. I like that. I've got enough LA2As and 1176s and TBXs and make a new compressor. And that's what this kind of sounds like to me. Yeah, definitely really modern sounding. I mean, not much to talk about here. It's pretty intuitive, which is great. I love plugins like this that just make it fun. They just like, it's not this super technical thing. They could definitely spice up the GUI a little bit. The gray is a little bit boring to me, but I don't know if we have any. No, we have no settings options. But this is pretty cool looking. And more importantly, it sounds good. So maybe an output limiter would be cool on it. Maybe that would be something neat to see. Really great features, really easy, simple to use, quick. I'm all about those things. I mean, I want to work quick. I want things to come together quickly. I don't want to have to think too much. And this does that. I don't have to think. Okay, so it sounds great on drums. This demo mute, it's killing me. Sounds great, bypassed. Yeah, sounds great. Let's go try it on some vocals. I mean, these are pretty treated, pretty compressed vocals already. This is how this song came to me in production. This isn't even mixed yet, and I mean, the production's great. That's Mike Schlosser and iamhill, Macquarie, absolutely incredible stuff. Let's try one of their presets. Really subtle here, this setting. Oh, demo bypass. So that's just really subtle, just kind of stands the vocal up a little bit. A little more aggressive. So you can definitely get lots of different kind of vibes happening quickly. You can be super aggressive, or I guess you can be less aggressive. I wish the auto game was better. So on the less aggressive side on vocals, it's really nice. Let's see what the settings are here on that. Pretty quick, yeah, pretty long. Let's go back to those drums and try it on the less aggressive. I didn't really give that a go, did I? So yeah, let's check out the less aggressive settings. Bypassed. So really nice on the subtle settings too. Pretty transparent actually. Let's go back to the mix bus and try that out there. So I like on my mix bus, if I'm using parallel compression, I just like something pretty gentle, nothing, unless of course I don't want gentle, but. Well, that's really nice. Very subtle. Even at fully wet. Can't really tell it's even there. Well, it's pretty cool that it does that full range. Pretty useful. So, super modern music. Super modern sounding compressor. Yeah, aggressive sounds great. Non-aggressive sounds super transparent. All right, let's try it out on some pop country. See what it's like over there. I wish the auto gain was a little bit better. It's not bad though. Alright, baby audio, you have my attention. this thing sounds cool. Yep, super transparent to super crazy. Who doesn't like that? So yeah, this is pretty fun, pretty easy to use. I mean, you can get in there and tweak, but just the default setting sounds great. Alright, let's try it out on these vocals here. Oh, it's just so boring without it. Oh, sounds great. Then we burn out of control, body and soul, till we fade out like smoke in the dark. Been keeping this flame for what feels like so long. So much has changed. Yeah. Yeah, really modern sounding. I like it. I like that it doesn't sound like... It sounds like its own compressor. Yeah, sounds great. Let's try it out on some guitars. Get some guitars happening. So far I'm not really digging it on buses. Seems like, I mean, drums for sure, but like this is on the guitar bus here on the song, and the left and the right really seem to be interacting with each other. Maybe I could try it in Mulit-Mono. That's great. That feels much better. So maybe that would be a cool feature that they could add, would be like in the stereo version, if they could have a stereo link, that would be really cool. So that I don't have to run it in Mulit-Mono. I mean, not a big deal that I'm running in Mulit-Mono, but it'd be cool. Yeah, sounds great on the guitars. So let's put it back on the bus now that I got it Mulit-Mono, and maybe that'll help how I'm feeling about it on the mix bus or on buses in general. So pretty nice. Feels good. Let's try it out on some bass. This is Darren Frank, Air Intake, gorgeous song.
I'm working on a new plan.
Tried out on some bass here.
But I don't really know why. Clean cuts, but the blood stain.
So yeah, the auto gain's not great. So, I mean, you can use it parallel or you can use it as a full compressor, and it sounds pretty great as a full-on compressor. I kind of just wish the tweak panel was open all the time. I wonder if I can save it so that it does that. Let's try it out on some drums here. For drums, I don't see why you wouldn't just use this all the time. It's so quick. High pass. Let's get our gains matched a little bit better here. So, yeah, I don't quite understand the auto gain, but it's a bit of an L. Yeah, I'm sold. This thing's cool. Instant vibe. Instant vibe killer is that bypass. Okay, so yeah, let's recap. IHNY-2 from Baby Audio, parallel compression plugin. Really simple, easy way to add parallel compression to your mixes, to your sources. This thing sounds great. They say on the website that they're trying to make like a modern aggressive compressor, and they've really done that. It sounds really nice, and it sounds like its own compressor. Like, I know that it's, you know, basing itself off of New York style parallel compression, but they really made it sound like their own thing. It doesn't sound like any other compressor I've heard, and it's super variable. With all the tweak panel, you can really get in there, but even without the tweak panel, just quick and easy, it's great. Very intuitive, very simple, sounds great, sounds like its own thing, its own plugin. I love the simplicity and the minimalism of it. I think that's great. Some features that I would like to see. I'd like to see AB and undo. That'd be great. And maybe some meters. If you could throw in some meters, that'd be great. Also, one thing that I would love to see would be in here, maybe on a stereo instances, just an unlink feature, so or like an amount feature, so I can either have the compressor working on 100% left and right, or change that so I can have separation between the left and right, so the left side isn't pumping the right side and vice versa. So some sort of stereo link feature would be great. I think that would sound awesome in here. All the things under the tweak panel are really great. You got 3 different types of sidechain, kind of built it right in there. Some harmonics, which is awesome. Some punch, get some extra transients through. You can go from 2.1 all the way to 20 to 1, and you can change your attack and release. Maybe a sidechain would be cool. You could get pretty creative with a sidechain into the parallel. But overall, this thing's a home run. I've never tried the original version of this, so I don't know what it was like, but I'm impressed. It's really quick and easy to use and intuitive, and it sounds modern. It sounds like its own thing, and I'm all about that. I don't need any more 1176s or DBXs or LA2As. I make new sounding compressors, and that's what this sounds like to me. And it's instantly vibey, and it can do from the subtle to the sublime. It can just do it all. So great job, Baby Audio. Only other thing I wish is that the demo didn't have dropouts in it. That's really my biggest complaint about this, is that the audio drops out every once in a while. But other than that, it's great. I'd use this everywhere. You could probably sneak it into a master if you needed to. So you could use it in all your phases: production, mixing, mastering. Really versatile workflow wise. This is great. I like tools like this that are fun to use. Just super quick. Setting up parallel compression back in the day, I mean, that took a minute. So the fact that it just does this really quickly and easily and intuitively is amazing. It takes a complex process. Let me try that again. It takes a complex process and makes it very simple, and it sounds great. I like this thing, so I'm gonna have to try out some of the other stuff for sure. This thing's great. I think that's gonna do it for me tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And if you're catching this on YouTube and feel like dropping me a like, a subscribe, and a follow, that would be amazing. It would really help me out. I'd be very appreciative. Thank you. And have a great night, everybody.